What is going on, everybody? Happy New Year. I hope everybody had an amazing New Year, and hopefully everybody had an amazing Christmas. Hopefully you guys pretty much got at least some stuff that you guys wanted for Christmas and everything, and I just pray and hope that the new year will be an amazing year for you all. So what we got going on here is that I have a couple of updates I want to share with you guys. First off, let's talk about, let's just go over the stuff when it comes to like things I'm going to be doing for the channel and everything like that, like the ideas and stuff like that. So I know that one of the little series that I have is when I'm playing a specific game for the very first time. I already started that. And my idea that I had when I first did that a few years ago was just that I just wanted to give like the first, like, I don't want to say give, but I was more playing what felt like the first maybe 30 minutes of a game or something like that, and then that was really it. But as time sort of went on, even though I kind of stopped doing that, it was more in the sense where I don't think me doing it in that way makes sense, basically. So it's more gonna, what I plan on doing is that I plan on, obviously I'm going to continue that. I'm not saying I'm not going to stop. I'm just saying to where I'm continuing that, but I'm going to do it in the way to where I'm playing through the entire game to still get the full experience and to give my reaction to all you guys out there. Because doing it in that short little way how I was doing it before, that didn't really make any much sense to me. So there's going to be that, and I already have a couple ideas for one of those I'm actually going to end up doing for that little series right there. And then speaking of playing something for the first time, of course there's one video that I did where I was playing something for the first time sorta, and that was Bully. There's a video on the channel on that already, but yeah, that's something I'm also gonna end up doing. It's almost like a sub series to that series, to where if I'm playing something for the first time, sort of, kind of, is basically to where I sampled the game a little bit at one point, but I'm playing it for the first time, and again, fully finishing the game for you guys, basically, to still get that same experience. And then another sort of series I kind of want to start off by doing is playing something for the first time, I think, meaning that this is a game that I also know of, I'm aware of, and I have it in my collection, but I think I played and sampled the game a little bit, or I may have not done that. I'm not entirely sure, but everything's all kind of being grouped together. I'm just splitting it off in this sort of like three different categories when it comes to playing a game for the first time, but it's all still kind of going to be one gigantic thing as to what I'm doing. So yeah, there's going to be that. And when it comes to other content as well, like I know that there's my little versus series that I've done, to where like it'll be like two random like AI characters in a fighting game, or two or more, I should say, characters in a fighting game, and the AI is controlling them. And I'm just kind of just making this small little quick, I guess, quick content in a sense, just to, I guess, put that out there. That little series, I don't know what came with me to actually make that series, but I'm still gonna probably still do that. I may actually remix it a little bit as time goes on. I'm still gonna toy around with that little idea that I'm gonna end up doing. But another series that we ended up starting off back in this past year in 2025 was quick gameplays, because as I said when I made that first episode, which was playing split second on the Xbox 360, it kind of made me, I was somewhat inspired, and it reminded me of what Ali had did back in the day when he was heavy doing COD content, in the sense where it's like, okay, here's a gameplay video of him playing, say, Call of Duty Ghosts on PS4 at the time, and it was like a random TDM for whatever, and just that one TDM match, and then that was an entire gameplay. That was his content, basically. So I was inspired by that old school content of his, and kind of want to do the same thing, but instead of just focusing on anything that could be like a first person shooter like COD, Halo, Battlefield, stuff like that, I was thinking about just doing it for practically anything. It doesn't have to be a match where it's like online or something like that. It can be like something like a bit more arcadey, like if I'm playing a racing game, for example, like Burnout 3 Takedown, for example. If I want to hop on that game and play like a road rage event on that game, basically, then that's something I'll basically be doing. So yeah, quick gameplays, of course, I'm going to continue that, and there's going to be some more ideas. I just got to still toy around with certain things. And yeah, so I'm really going to that kind of does help me lead into my next bullet points. I'm going to try and be more consistent when it comes to the content, because I know that content-wise for this past year. I've been doing my absolute best, but I haven't felt like I put my all into everything. So I plan to obviously do a lot more for myself this year. That's a goal that I have for myself. And speaking of still doing things, well, now I won't say doing things, but I guess good news I can say for the channel is that if you guys remember, we did reach 600 subs. I'm still really happy about that because I remember when I kind of started, I only had like maybe about 25 subs at one point. Then I reached up to about 30, and I was about at that point, and it was cool. And then some of those people that was subbing to me, I was like, I would tell certain folks, especially if they were friends or classmates of mine, hey, I have a YouTube channel, you know, I'm doing the gaming stuff. And they will sub just to still pretty much support me and all that and everything. And then at one point, I don't know how this happened, but out of nowhere, I have 2 videos on my channel that's based on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's the 2012 version of the show. I have one video where it was like a clip from one of the episodes from season 1 that I recorded off this old tablet that my mom had that I used. And I just took my phone at the time and just recorded this random scene and uploaded it onto the channel. And then there's the theme song that I got from somewhere else. I forgot where I got it from. And I just put it onto my channel. And then those videos did pretty well at the time when I uploaded them at their respective times. But out of nowhere, both those videos just skyrocketed in views. So like, I think the clip from the show, that went from like having about maybe 70 views to like maybe like 7,000, I believe. And then the intro theme, that's the instrumental, that went from having about, I want to say about maybe 1,000 views on that one to where I had like, I think over 70,000 if memory serves me right. And then YouTube actually made it into like a YouTube short automatically when they started introducing that. I don't know where that came from, but you know, all that had happened. And then I went from having about around 30 subs to about 530 subs. So it's like I just gained a random 500 subscribers just like that. And I was like, whoa, what in the world? Where did all this come from? But I was so grateful. I was so pleased. And it was just a random shock to me at the time. So, yeah, the fact that I reached 600 after kind of battling to get at least of that next number, you know, I'm very, very grateful for that. And thank God for that. And I'm very blessed. And there's more to that going on, you know, further going on to my career and everything like this. At least part of it. Speaking of my career, there is something else I'm going to be doing outside the scenes that's still in the entertainment field that I want to do. And I'm going to try and still pursue that while I'm doing this here on the side. And something else I also want to mention is my Rumble and Facebook pages to also post my gaming content. I think I mentioned this at one point, either an update video or a random gameplay video last year. And I know I said I was going to do some more to promote that, and I haven't really been doing much of it, but now obviously I'm going to start doing that more. I've been looking a bit more to my pages a bit more, so I'm going to be managing all of those. And something else I also have been doing for the videos as well is finally adding a proper outro card so I can still help promote myself in all my other platforms that I'm using basically. So yes, there's that. So yeah, here I'm also gonna be promoting my Rumble page, Facebook page, and then here's the new outro that we're gonna be doing. You'll see about the time this video ends and everything. Community wise, something I also have written down here as a bulletin point is that I want to build a Discord community. I actually made I don't remember when I made my Discord account. It's been some years, but I told myself I want to make a community for us all and everything. And I launched it back in 2023, but I've never said anything about it. I believe it should be in one of my links in the description as well, but I still haven't been properly promoting it myself. So that's like an introduction to that as well as my Discord server. There's really nothing there, but I'm just letting y'all know that right now. And something else I need to talk about as well that I have written down is that something that if any of you guys have been following on like my TikTok, especially on CJJhonson Gaming, is that I've been collecting game stuff for a few years now, I would say, because I've been really just into gaming like that throughout my whole life. And realizing what the financial situation is looking like right now, I'm obviously going to have to pause on that. I mean, I'm probably not going to cut out buying games entirely, but I'm gonna obviously just be a lot more smart about it. Because since we're in the new year, I know that we have a lot of games that people are looking forward to. Some games that I'm personally looking forward to this year is Wolverine from Insomniac Games. I'm really looking forward to that. 007, what was it? First Fight. I forgot what the name is called. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, there's GTA 6 when that comes out. And speaking of GTA 6, I'm obviously going to be doing content on that, even though I'm not as big as everybody else, and then everybody and their mother is going to be doing some level of content on that game. I'm obviously just going to do it for my own way, my own self and everything, regardless of how many views or anything like that. I'm not thinking about that, but I'm just saying this to where the one thing I'm really trying to put out there in the universe is to get myself an Xbox Series X. I have an Xbox One. I'm still kind of running on that. And I do have a PS5 if you guys have known. Because that's how I did my GTA 5 Let's Play, was through my PS5 anyway. But it's more the fact that I just want to switch things up anyway. And plus, when it does come to anything that's like a third-person action-adventure game like Grand Theft Auto, or anything that's in the first person like a shooter, for example, like Battlefield or something, there's nothing wrong with me playing it on a PlayStation console, but it just feels a lot more comfortable on an Xbox console because of the controller that the consoles come with. It just feels way more comfortable and way better to me, in my personal opinion, than using something like a PlayStation. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it's just more of a personal preference and everything. So yeah, I know that there's some of those games that's coming out that I'm excited for, but a game that I also do want to sort of talk about is Sonic Unleashed. If you guys have known that we just finished Sonic Unleashed back in, I want to say, late November, early December here in 2025. And I think I did mention the final video I made for that was if I was going to move on to the 360 version of the game. And to be honest with y'all, the thing is that I never really finished Sonic Unleashed on the 360 at all. I forgot as to what point I got up to it. I never did finish it. But there's this arcade that used to be not too far from where I live called Flashback Games. And they had before they had shut down and they had to move locations and stuff, they had they had I think one or two Xbox 360s when I first heard about that, and I put my account on there. And I remember that even though we were supposed to, but I didn't know that at the time until I think after the fact. But what's it called here? One thing that I had randomly had looked on to when I logged on to Sonic Unleashed at one point was that most of the game was practically finished, and I know I didn't finish up the game, so I just thought to myself, okay, somebody must have went ahead and just did more of that game and probably finished it in whatever way. Because I think even like, for example, like Shamar during the daytime, I don't even think I got to that part in the game myself when I first played through it, when I got my copy. And I just look at it, I'm just like, okay. And it's not even just that. Speaking of Shamar, there's even some of those stages that I still need a lot of practice on too, so I can still come up with decent gameplay with that if I'm going to be doing Sonic Unleashed on a 360, which I probably will do it this year. I just need to give myself some time for that. But, yeah, I think that's all that I have written down right here. Yeah, if I do have anything else, I probably will say something in another video or something. I just got to write it down. But, yep, that's what we got going on for 2026. I'm going to be doing my best to post more while chasing my dreams that I have outside of this. We're going to make it this year. I'm putting this out there. May God bless me through this. And I'm going to make it through this year and finally come out on top. So yeah, just hope you guys will all stick with me through all that. And yeah, I'll see you all later.